All right, now let's look at the beginner programs, phases 1 to 4. So these are really good to use for an absolute beginner in the gym. So if we have a look at the first program, it's basically made up of 5 exercises done in a straight set format. So you finish all your goblet squats, then your half kneeling lat pull downs, then your Swiss ball hamstring, etc., and then finish off with 10 to 20 minutes of low intensity cardio. So the goal of these programs is to systematically build up movement competency, number 1, strength, number 2, and work capacity, number 3. So these are programs that have been tested with hundreds and hundreds of beginners. They work really, really well. And the easiest way to individualize them is to individualize the exercise selection for the individual. Now, with this program here, you could make this program hard for someone who's quite strong. They would just need to use extremely heavy weights and maybe change the exercise selection. So I'm not really going to worry about giving this to an advanced or intermediate person. I would avoid it for them. With our beginner clients, this is really good, but you might change the exercise goblet squat to something else if they can't do that exercise due to movement capacity, and that's how we individualize. Day 2, kettlebell deadlift, seated row, lat emphasis, leg extension, dumbbell deltoid press, side plank, and some cardio. So it's all full body training with a little bit of core. And then the same thing, leg press, row, step up, bench, Swiss ball crunch. So it really covers all bases here. Really, really simple. In phase 2, we move into a superset format. So similar to the German body composition, again, we're still using slightly easier exercises in terms of the exercise selection, where the clients can really build up the capacity over time. And same thing, very similar exercise selection to the first program. We're just progressing through variables. So instead of a kettlebell deadlift, we're doing a barbell Romanian deadlift because the client should have the movement capacity to move to the next level of progression. And then we've added like a couple of isolation exercises in there for phase 2. Now for phase 3 for a beginner, we're basically going to add in our first form of conditioning. Okay, in that we're moving up in exercise complexity. So we're going from a goblet squat to a back squat and moving from a lat pull down variation into an assisted chin up. So we're going to bring that client towards a full chin up. That's our goal. Then we have our other 2 exercises, which again, we've increased the complexity. And then what we're going to give them is their first conditioning circuit. So a conditioning circuit is where we're going to be doing anaerobic exercise to create an anaerobic aerobic adaptation. These are quite challenging for clients. And this type of program is really, really good for semi-private training. It works really well in a semi-private model or a small group fitness gym. In fact, I wrote this program for my small group fitness gym. So push up, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. So rather than actually doing reps, we're doing time as the variable. Goblet squat, inverted row, Swiss ball leg curl. So it's one of those programs that doesn't really require that much equipment and you can do it kind of anywhere. And then it follows the same structure the whole way through. Now, some days are quite hard. This is designed with the idea that someone has a pretty comprehensive gym full of equipment. So with the kettlebell stuff, I'd be looking at, really using lightweight kettlebells for most people at this point. Okay. And then we have the same thing for day 3. Now we go to phase 4 of the beginner program, which is the last one. We're now looking at making the program a little bit more challenging in terms of reps. So we're looking at pushing more strength out of that particular program. So barbell squats and chin-ups, for example, our clients have progressed quite aggressively in this program, and there's a reason for that. The program is designed to create that by doing the same stuff again and again and increasing the complexity and the intensity of it. Clients get results that way rather than random acts of variety. It's the fastest way to get results. And then at the end, what we do is we give them what's called a escalating density training program. So it's been cut off here, but if you actually look at the notes, they're going to alternate between those 2 exercises. So a goblet squat for 8 reps and dumbbell row for 8 reps for a period of anywhere between 8 to 15 minutes. And they're going to try and do as many sets of that weight as they can in that time frame. Now, this is really a really challenging way that improves someone's work capacity, helps with hypertrophy, helps with strength development. That one's a bit nasty, and that one's a bit absolutely amazing arm and shoulder pump. If they go through this, what happens as soon as they increase their performance, so 20%, okay, so they say they've gone from 6 sets in 8 minutes up to 8 sets in 8 minutes, we increase the weight by 20%. So, by 5%. So it constantly gives us something to strive for, and it starts pushing our clients to start moving towards increasing performance outcomes rather than purely looking at aesthetic outcomes. Because performance outcomes can be very easily improved, and then from there, they lead to better aesthetic outcomes anyway. And that's the Ascend Beginner Program.